Hey guys, welcome back. It's Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. That, of course, is the big billion-dollar Star Wars expansion in Disneyland. It's coming to Disney World this fall as well.
Late summer.
Late summer. Fall-ish. It's going to be open in the fall-ish. Now, not everyone is real excited about it, including some major Disney theme park news outlets. Basically calling shenanigans on the pricing and the experiences and the expectation not meeting the reality.
Well, the prices, I have heard several people and several different sites that I frequent. I was actually going to write an article on our Disney blog about this because the prices are really high.
Yeah, they are really high. Now, there is a disclaimer because I think these people want to make sure they stay in Disney's good graces because they said overall it's the most triumphant themed land in 50 years possibly ever, but it's not perfect. But the grievances they have are pretty major grievances. I mean, really, by the time you go through this list, this is coming from Theme Park Tourist, which it is a sizable Disney-focused theme park attraction blog. It has over 500,000 followers on Facebook. So for them to come out and say this, you know, and possibly jeopardize their media access.
It's not just them. I've seen other Disney
I've seen it all over the place. I've seen it all over the place. There, you know, people are sort of like, yeah, it's great, but you know, it's always.
Plus, they opened it with one ride instead of two. They opened it early because they were trying to get people in the parks. Because I think what happened was a lot of people were not going to go to the parks until they opened. They were just going to wait
till the end of the year
or next year to go when everything was open. So then Disney hurried up and rushed the openings, but you only had one ride. Like, I think they originally planned on having both open, but they opened it way earlier than anybody expected.
Right.
And I think that, you know, if for the fact that it has one attraction only, and then the people that live in Anaheim can't even get in unless they stay at the hotel.
Yeah, so there were a lot of, and it does feel like they rushed the opening of this, and I think part of the reason we talked about this in a previous video is because they're trying to get that cash in there, get it on the books before the end of Disney's fiscal year, which is
October, September.
The end of September.
Yeah.
That is the end of Disney's fiscal year. So they bought, you know, Fox. They're buying out part of Hulu. They're going on the spending spree.
Streaming service and all the episodes. They're spending money on that.
So Disney has to make up money, and what they're going to do is they're going to green milk the theme parks.
Yep.
To make.
Well, you know, it's not blue milk the theme parks.
It's not.
Well, they green milk it first, and then it becomes blue milk.
Yeah, so they're gonna milk the whatever color you choose. They're gonna milk the theme parks for money to pay for all of this expansion in the studios, and it shows. Like, the prices in Galaxy's Edge are crazy, crazy high. So again,
some of the things are pretty standard though. Like, their pin prices are about right. I mean, their shirt prices seem a little bit high, but then a lot of them are, like, you know, pretty much what the standard. They're raising prices everywhere. So some of the stuff, like the little things like pins and stuff, it's about normal price. But then you get into other stuff.
Yeah, so they have some really high-end souvenirs that are like $6,000.
Oh, they have, you can buy your own R2-D2 Astromech droid for $25,000.
$25,000.
You can choose whether you want it to be brand new looking or battle worn.
Okay, so that's, I mean, does anybody really need, because honestly, if you're going to do that, you can go build a droid. You can build your own droid for less than that.
Well, the cost of Stormtrooper armor, though, I think a lot of times you pay that anyway. And I do know at Launch Bay, they offered you could buy the accurate costumes there for that price. So that's nothing new, to be fair. To be fair, they have that before. So that's something really new, but...
Okay, so we're talking the blue and green milk, fresh milked from the alien teat. Well, actually not.
There was no wall of milk,
chilled.
Like you joked.
There was no wall of milk with alien breasts that you could milk your own. $8 for a glass of milk.
It's $8.
$8 for a glass of milk. So
it's rice milk and stuff too. And people,
it's like soy milk.
Yeah, I've heard several people say it's not very good. So I'm just saying, I've heard several blogs post that it wasn't that great.
Yeah, they said to go back to capitalism, they said for guests you're paying for the privilege of saying that you tried it once. It's gouge pricing of the highest order. In capitalist terms, Star Wars Land is an elite tourist attraction. The market price for such fare is exceptionally high. Disney has always been expensive, but...
They were kind of saying that this is going to happen, though. Weren't they kind of like, you know...
Disney was kind of bragging about it. He's basically like, people are going to come to this thing and spend a bunch of money. We don't have to do any advertising.
Yeah, he was bragging about it.
He was just banking on this thing. This is why they opened Star Wars Land early, is to get this revenue on the books. But how many times can somebody realistically go and spend that kind of money?
Right, and they think if you're gonna go once, but people, if I were you, if you want to go, I'd wait till both attractions are open.
Yeah.
Because it seems like it's gonna cost you a lot just to even do it once, so you might as well wait till they're both open and do everything at once. But go ahead.
Yeah, they said they can't blame Disney, but the strategy sucks for theme park tourists. That's true. You used to be able to just go to the parks, and they were always Disney has always been kind of a premium experience, but it was still relatively affordable. The tchotchkes, they've always had everything ranging from like a $3 item to like a $30,000 item in the Disney parks. But it just seems like in Galaxy's Edge there are more high ticket items.
Right.
And some of the experiences that they promised average guests are very expensive, like the lightsabers. Like the Droid Factory. The lightsabers, we're talking $200 for a lightsaber. They're actually complaining on this Disney
I've seen
blog.
some people complain about it.
This Disney blog with 500,000 followers on Facebook, they're complaining that $199 for a glow stick is way too much.
And that's the base one. If you want to customize it, make it cooler, you have to go to Doc Ongars, which is a whole other place, and pay more for upcharged accessories and stuff.
Right,
that's the basic one.
So you could walk out of there with a freaking lightsaber cost more than a car payment, But now these are an upgrade from the other lightsabers they have. Currently in the parks at Hollywood Studios, they have a build your own lightsaber station, but they're like the toy Hasbro lightsabers. Same kind of thing, but obviously not as advanced as this. But we're talking $30.
Yeah.
$30 or $40 for that versus $200+.
Now, to be fair, I think part of it though isn't like they're limited people allowed in, and it's an experience and make it a whole experience. It's part of it's almost like paying to go to a show at the same time.
Yeah, but the Harry Potter wands, that's what they're kind of doing. This is like their version of the Harry Potter wand choosing, but those wands are significantly less expensive than a $200 lightsaber.
Right.
So more people can. So what they're saying, and this is coming from a theme park blog, a sizable theme park blog. They said Disney is punishing its most loyal fans with the price of doing business at Star Wars Land.
Well, I know that the Droid, I mentioned that too. The Droid Factory, you can make your own droid, and it's $100 for the droid plus tax.
Right.
So that's the cheaper option if you want like one of those activities. Now, I mean, the droid, I was surprised it was less than a lightsaber, but that's just me. But
Yeah. So I love this, and I've heard this from multiple people that the Falcon ride is too complicated for average theme park guests, and your success or failure depends on whether or not somebody does their job well. If you have a weak link in the cockpit, you're not going to have a good experience.
Squid King mentioned, we were talking before it opened, Squid King said, if you crash a Falcon, you get treated differently than if you land it properly. And he's like, what if you're a family of 3 and they fill every seat, and you have 3 other people that come in and they've already landed it right and they want to crash it to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's not up to you. I mean, if everybody else in the ship, and even if it's complicated and you're trying your best, you might not understand what you're doing, and you'll crash it and everybody's getting mad at you. So you might leave the cockpit of the Falcon and everybody PO'd at you that was in the Falcon. It's a lot of pressure for fun, in quotes.
Yeah, so here they like this. Do you like to fail?
Then I got a ride for you. That's funny.
The first batch of YouTube ride videos for the Falcon Smuggler's Run shares a commonality. Nobody can drive a starship to save their life or the lives of the other 5 passengers. Disney did know this was going to be a problem. This attraction is being described more as a video game with multiplayer than an attraction, and I think a lot of people expected something like Star Tours, where they basically just sit in it and push a button occasionally and they ride it, and what's going on is nobody knows what the hell they're doing, so they're all crashing the ship, and it's way too complicated for an average, especially what if you're in a cockpit with people who speak different languages.
Well, that's true, but they're probably in a place like, okay, well, if you want to succeed, you have to ride it multiple times. Good luck with that, because you're lucky to get on it once without waiting in line for hours and hours and hours.
And the funny thing is this is actually like the B-list attraction. The major attraction is Rise of the Resistance.
And it's going to be impressive if it ever gets finished.
Which it's not done. It's not going to open until like December. I've heard
they said late this year. Yeah. So I'm saying if you want to go, I would go next year.
So this is a problem. They have a list of grievances. So far we've got the prices are too high. The one ride they have is kind of a
it's impressive, but it's hard to participate in.
Lack of signage. So to make it seem more like Star Wars, the Star Wars Galaxy, everything's in Aurebesh, which is great, and unless you're trying to find...
No. Here's what they're doing for this, okay? I know what's going on for this. They have their app, and they want everybody to use their Disney Parks Play app. And what happens is, if you have the download on the Parks Play app, they have a translator. So they're trying to make it more immersive, and part of their immersion was there's some different activities you can use with the app. One of them is to translate Aurebesh. You could also intercept communications.
Right.
There's some different things you can do with different items throughout the park. So, and there's a map on the Play app. So they probably want you to use that to translate and use the app. And, just make sure you're doing more stuff. And there's probably something on there they're using it for, because I can't see why they force people otherwise. But there's something about it they're probably going to use for something.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's kind of a problem, though, if you just won't find the bathroom, Yeah. You have to translate, you have to use a translator. So, yeah, you get lost all the time. They said that there's no way to actually know. And it's 14 acres. Like, this place is huge.
Yeah, it's big. It's really big.
Everything's in Aurebesh, so people are already confused. The role-playing elements, I guess, again, they wanted to make this immersive, and it's not working very well because people are not interacting, I guess, with the cast members the way they expected them to. And they're afraid to talk to the cast members because they don't want to get into some big dialogue about LARPing or some side quest or whatever. So people are not interacting with the cast members that have been trained.
Remember, most normal people don't even know what LARPing is.
No.
Most normal people don't know, a lot of people, if you're really into Star Wars, this is perfect for you because you get to really interact with, I guess it's really immersive and interactive. And I mean, which I would like. But a lot of people don't, they just want to get on the ride while because you're limited to like 4 hours right now. Only 4 hours in the area before you're kicked out. They're just like, I need to get here, 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 and here. And they don't have time for, let me tell you the story about how I crashed the ship or whatever it is. And for people that aren't, most normal people, they don't want to do that. Like, people like us or people that are into like really heavily into geek stuff would love it. But that's, and that's not a lot of people. Yeah,
they resent having to try to role play on their vacation. They want to just turn their brains off and
yeah, it requires effort.
Right.
If you're shy, like I know, like I'm a very shy person. It would be harder for me. Like I don't even ask to do pin trading half the time because I'm too shy to do it. So like a lot of shy people, they might want to, but they're just afraid to ask. They don't want to be like, this really boisterous person that's gonna like, make them hide. They said, I expect that fans of Star Wars and extroverts. Exactly. Would love, I didn't even read that paragraph. Would love LARPing at Black Spire Outpost. Introverts, like me, will loathe the idea and resent any attempts by cast members to dole out quests.
Yeah.
You'd like it.
I probably would, but I'm also like, I can see if you're there with, you've got your small children, you just want to ride the Falcon ride, which turns out to be a bust if you're probably piloting a ship with a couple of 4-year-olds or whatever. And then people are going to try to stop you and give you quests, and you're just like, I just want to get a drink and sit down. I'm really tired. I can see where maybe they overshot this a little bit.
No, I think it's a really good idea for people who are, like they said, are very big Star Wars fans or extroverts, and they're there because they want the experience.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing, and it will be a good thing after June 23rd when it's limited to 4 hours in the park.
Right.
After June 23rd, you're not limited on time. You might wait in line for 4 hours for the Falcon, but you can spend the whole time in there if you want to for a whole day, and then you can go on side quests. You have time to do that. That'll be a good time to go. I would not, if you're interested in LARPing and stuff, I would not go until then.
Yeah, so this is so the cast members are trained to purchase knickknacks. In Galaxy's Edge, you have to use credits, right? Like they do with Republic credits and Star Wars.
The Galactic credits.
Galactic credits, yeah. So they're talking about how this relates to video game currency. They said in recent years, digital currencies have risen in popularity. Generally, they're employed in video games as a way of confusing customers about how much they're actually spending on games. It's a psychological trick.
I'm sorry. It's a Jedi mind trick.
It's a Jedi mind trick, You will max out your credit card.
Yeah.
You will max out your credit card. So Disney has adopted the system for Galaxy's Edge. Cast members are trained to state prices in credits rather than dollars. It's currently a 1-to-1 ratio, so it's no big deal at the moment, at least for American consumers. The situation changes from minor aggravation to shady business practices if and when Disney changes the ratio and confuses guests about the actual price of goods.
This is not the savings you're looking for.
This is not the savings you're looking for. So does it seem like it's a better deal to pay $8 for a glass of green milk when it's 8 credits? It's 8 credits for a glass of green milk? And how do they... I mean, I don't know. But
to convert them, it's free to convert them? But you have to take your credit card and put money on a credit.
I'm not exactly sure. We haven't been
know.
there yet.
Well, I know there was a gift card like that because I saw pictures of it. So I'm assuming that's what they were talking about. You have to put it on this card.
Right. So
what if you don't spend the money? Then what do you do with it?
So this isn't the only look. There are a lot of people who are gushing about the theming, and the theming is looks really good. But is it really functional? And people are and for the price. And I guess that's what people were complaining about. And is this really going to be, because everything we've heard is like Disney was banking on this theme park expansion to basically save the Star Wars brand. Like everything is going to be about Galaxy's Edge. And
they're tying, I think, the last movie into it somehow. And everything.
Yeah, they're tying the last movie into it. They're basically going to write the movie around.
They have comic series right now with backstories and stuff about this. And I think there's going to be books and all kinds of stuff.
So it's looking to me like this isn't exactly the slam dunk they were looking for.
Now, it's only been a few days.
It's only been a few days, but already, I mean, usually the novelty wears off and then people start to nitpick more. But to have one of the biggest theme park blogs out there, websites out there, complain about all the things that are wrong with Galaxy's Edge, and really it's going to scare off casual consumers too, because they're going to be like, oh my God, I can't afford, I got 4 kids. I cannot buy 4 kids a $200 plus lightsaber.
And I was looking at some of the items on different blogs that were for sale and the prices, and they're like, I think the DJ Rex, now granted it's an interactive toy, it's like $150.
Yeah.
They have some figures like a 3PO and stuff that were like 70 or 80 or something. I forget, but the prices are a bit high. It seems like little things stay about the same, but like some of the shirts, like a hat, they wanted like $50 for a hat or something.
Yeah, I mean.
So it's just,
And Disney's not cheap, but they've been cheaper. I guess is what I'm saying. Like, Disney has never really been cheap, but they've been cheaper. And normally, either Disney World or Disneyland, you can go to, like, even Pandora. Pandora, yeah, they had some higher dollar experiences, but I think it really topped out at, like, getting the custom Avatar figure, the Na'vi figure. And I think that was like what, $100 or something like that to have it.
Was it more? I think it was more.
Maybe it was more than that. But really, most people went for the Banshees. And the Banshees were like what, 60, 70?
60 or 70.
Yeah, and that's reasonable. And you don't feel like you need to do that. But most people are gonna be like, I'm gonna go Star Wars. I'm gonna build lightsaber, and holy God, it's gonna be $200+.
I mean, and if people start not buying the stuff, I wonder if they're going to have the cast members send you on quests to go buy things.
Oh my God, buy me a glass of green milk.
Or like, I see you don't have one of the lightsabers like everybody else. You cannot be a true Jedi until you have that lightsaber.
Oh my God.
But they're not doing that I know of. I'm just saying, it'd be funny if they did.
They'll use their Jedi mind tricks. But this isn't the only complaint. So, okay, so we had this, we talked the other day about Collider and the Jedi Council. And now he did, I guess, kind of apologize for having the meltdown. Was it Christian Harloff?
Yeah.
Where he was not invited by Disney. But we're kind of seeing who got media access to it, and it seems like they're looking for a particular demographic, and I don't think Christian Harloff, Star Wars super fan, quote unquote, on the Jedi Council on Collider really fit the demographic that they were looking for. They weren't looking for
we'll just end it there and say,
more typical fanboys to go to Star Wars. They were looking for other kinds of people.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. You can draw your own conclusions.
I mean,
but who's got the money to spend?
Well, they both could, but I'm just saying, it's just, I think that the outburst was a little bit of a top. I understand why you felt the way you did, though. But where are we going with this?
Where I was going with this is basically like, if Disney is alienating casual parks fans with the prices and how confusing this is.
You need mega fans instead.
You need mega fans, but then they're alienating the mega fans too by not inviting them to the opening. And so you've got...
I didn't get invited, I'm just saying.
I have... Disclaimer.
I used to sell toys in my dorm room. No one invited me.
I actually was inside the Walt Disney World version of it as it was being constructed, but I was part of a media event and they had certain people they wanted to go there. Disclaimer: I didn't get to try the $8 green milk.
No, it was
literally it was a construction site. That was all it is. But I and we love the parks. Like, we love the Disney parks. We go to Disney all the time.
We'll be going to Galaxy's Edge. I am 100% sure. I might wait more until the other ride.
I'd rather wait, and I'll tell you the truth. Huge parks fan. Not so much on Star Wars now. I'm pretty soured on Star Wars.
I'm more still about Star Wars than you are.
Yeah.
I still love the original, and I will hold on to that.
So, what I'm saying is I honestly think most people should wait until next year, and they might even, after the initial buzz wears off, maybe they'll get some of these kinks worked out. But it's not, I don't think it's the slam dunk they were really hoping for. But and that's what I'm saying, like, Disney's really confused. Who do they want to be their Star Wars customers. Because even when they did the dedication, did they bring out Rey and Finn and Poe?
I'm waiting for them to do it in Orlando, then.
Yeah. No, they did not. They brought Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, Billy D. Williams to dedicate Star Wars Land, which is based on the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
You know, it was a very weird choice to do that. But again, Disney's like, oh, we want the old school fans in their deep pockets because we know these people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on stuff, but we're gonna, you know, make sure we kind of exclude them from the opening. See what I'm saying? Like, there's a mixed messaging.
Yeah.
There's mixed messaging here, and I don't really know if you know, this is gonna be the slam dunk Disney's hoping for.
Well, I would definitely fall in the old school fan category.
Yeah.
So.
But we don't spend much money on Star Wars these days.
No.
Not much
Well,
at
I
all.
don't know.
We used to.
We went to Celebration. We spent quite a bit of money.
Yeah,
so.
but I'm saying
But
normally
it was all original trilogy.
it was all vintage stuff.
So.
The only thing I bought was the holiday special lunchbox.
I got the 2 bags, and then
They were vintage.
we did buy Pinky Boo, but it was Ahsoka's.
Ahsoka's Al, whatever those things
and
are
that
called.
Ahsoka's okay. We'll
Yeah,
give Ahsoka a
Ahsoka's
pass.
cool.
I
I
like
like
Ahsoka. But, you know, I'm just saying. So, you know, I'm hearing a lot. It's very expensive. I've seen prices on different blogs. It is pretty pricey. Now, some, like I said, the basic stuff is similar. Like the Loungefly bag, $75, but that's what the price of the Loungefly bags are anywhere you go for different theming bags. But there are some things that I'm like, that's a little high. They did that in Pandora, too, I noticed. The prices, I was kind of like, that's higher than normal.
Higher, but not to this extent. But then again, Avatar is not, even though the first movie was a big hit, it hasn't had legs. Like, most people have already forgotten about Avatar.
Yeah, no one's like, I don't think anybody's gonna go into Pandora and spend $25,000 on, you know, an R2, which I can see. Well, they wouldn't in Pandora, but you know what I mean. Where I can totally see several people going in and spending $25,000 on an authentic working R2D2. You know.
Yeah, but like I said, you can probably build one cheaper. You can probably build one cheaper.
I'd buy a car, but that's me, you know?
Yeah, so, yeah, I'd buy a car instead. It's going to be really interesting to watch the feedback as, you know, the weeks and months tick by, because Disney is banking heavily on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and
I think they're expecting it to save everything.
They're expecting it to bankroll everything, and I don't think for the average consumer it's going to work.
Do you want to know what I think? And this is I'm going to say it. I think Iger overspent. I think they saw him coming and they just upped and upped and upped and showbid him up to paying ridiculous amounts of money for Fox.
Yeah.
And I think he overspent way too much. I think he's spending way too much on the streaming service and everything else. And I think, you know, he's doing all this stuff. And now what's going to happen is the next few years, whoever comes in after him in the next few years is going to have to make up for it. It's what all that expense is going to come down to the consumers. They're making people pay for parking out at the hotels.
Yeah.
They're making you. They're adding $2 here, $3
Bell
there.
services. They're adding, you know, a minimum for Bell services.
They're going to start doing that.
And that's not.
Now they're going to do that. They're trying to find these nickel and dime things. They keep upping souvenirs. They keep upping expenses on tickets. Now the tickets went from, you know, off season, you know, peak season or whatever to it depends on the day of the week and whatever they feel like charging you that week. And it just keeps like nickel and diming the guests. And, you know, I mean, I like part of that because that means less people are going to be there. It's not going to be as crowded. But I also think that it's just pricing people out that, you know, and it's not right. So I don't know.
They're gonna milk the teats of the people who can afford to go to the Disney parks. And the prices are going to go up and up and up. And eventually there's going to be a ceiling where even wealthy consumers are like, yeah, I can't afford this.
Well, they can afford it. It's like,
I'm not going to pay it. Well, or I did this once. I bought one $200 lightsaber. I'm never buying another $200 lightsaber.
Why would I need to buy $200?
Why do I need to buy another one?
Where like the $40 one, my kid gets one every trip and makes it different, you know?
Yeah, and you can buy, all the kids can buy one.
Right. And then I guess they have the different kyber crystals, so you can buy different lightsabers, you know, one for each color or whatever. I don't know. I don't have that kind of money. But it's just, I know that's what they're doing. They're not going to say that, but that's what they're doing. And they're just basically doing all these things they overspent. Now they're putting it onto the consumers to cover it. I mean, that's what they have $15,000 experiences now.
Yeah,
so the rich people pay more. So the rich people pay more. And they know, they want that audience. They're basically saying, we only want the people with money and the rest of you can just go suck it.
Yeah, pretty much. But eventually it's going to hit a ceiling, I think. So this is really interesting, though, to see one of the biggest theme park websites out there being like, yeah, we got problems. We got concerns.
Now, I've heard a lot of good things, too.
I've heard a lot of good things about the theming.
I'm trying to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of good things, but I don't I don't know if Galaxy's Edge is going to like save the franchise the way that they're hoping it's going to save the franchise. It's going to be, and then when they build that hotel, that's going to be like a luxury.
Oh yeah,
hotel.
it's like what they're thinking it's going to be like $1,000 a night,
$1,000 a night or $1,000 a weekend or something like that. That's not going to be something that the average consumer is going to spend. So I think they're kind of looking at they're looking at geeks with deep pockets, and they're like, you suckers, you're going to pay $8 for a glass of blue milk. Just because you can.
Well, $8 isn't a whole lot, but I'm saying I'm more concerned about people who are going to pay $1,000 for a night or a weekend at a hotel.
And that's people will do that once.
They will because it's very immersive.
Once they'll do it once.
But if you're a LARPer and you really want to go and take part of these quests, I would totally do it. I think you should, but I would just wait because you can't anyway until June 24th. Until then, unless you already have a reservation or you're staying at a Disneyland hotel, you cannot get in.
Yeah.
But after that, June 24th on, if you want to go in there and spend the whole day going on quests, do it. I mean, honestly, you could do a whole bunch of quests, or you can go wait in line for 4 hours for the Falcon ride. But I mean, do that. And if your person's only going to be able to go one time, I would recommend you wait until the other attraction is open.
Wait till the other one opens.
And prepare to spend the entire day at Galaxy's Edge, either in Disneyland or Disney World, because that's going to take you all day just to get in line on things. So,
all right, we got to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, rants, gaming videos, art videos, and more. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.